Who is Charles on the beat? Best producer in Louisiana. You ain't gotta believe me, check him out. Got his own YouTube page. He's on Instagram, he's on Facebook. He also has his own website. Check him out. My name is Sidney Combs, and I'm a young entrepreneur from Shreveport, Louisiana with $1 and a dream. Tonight we're going to talk about how a blacks control. How everybody doing? Tonight we're going to talk about redlining. I'm pretty sure a lot of people probably have never heard of redlining, so I'm going to read a couple things off to you. Redlining is a discriminatory practice in which services are withheld from potential customers who reside in neighborhoods classified as hazardous to investment. These residents largely belong to racial and ethnic minorities. The purpose is to draw red lines to indicate areas in which they do not want to make loans. It's illegal to do it on a race base. The result of this creation is the hood. Steering discrimination is when a real estate professional influences your decision to move based on your race or your religion. Part of the 1968 Fair Housing Act. In the 1930s, the federal government began redlining real estate. They was not willing to invest in the hood. Now, with all of what I'm saying, ready you been said, what happened was suburbs were created because of that. I was talking to a gentleman at the barbershop today, and he basically was telling me that he got a little information about that, and he said that right after the World War II, when the veterans came home, they was basically giving them a stipend for them to be able to go, and get them a home on the outskirts of town. And they created the suburb to basically create a line between the poor and the middle class and the wealthy. So if the suburbs were created for the middle class and wealthy to live in, what were the hood created for? Poverty. So when a person goes around and they talk so much about the hood, I love the hood, and they claim the hood, and they claim all the bad things that goes along with their hood and brag about it. That hood was once created. The government created that. That's why if you ever pay attention, you never see hoods on the outskirts of town. Hoods are always right in the middle of town. Because now they know, okay, we can keep an eye somewhat on that. We can keep an eye on the people somehow. And I don't think we fully pay attention to that. We don't understand that where you come from controls your mindset. If you come from a upper class family and a lifestyle, there's a pretty good chance you're going to have an upper to middle class lifestyle. Pretty good chance. If you come from wealth, it's a good chance you're going to have a more of a wealth mindset and not a survival mindset. If you come from a middle class mindset, it's a pretty good chance your mindset going to be of the middle class. Now, a lot of people, they might not fully understand what middle class is, because there's a lot of people that are living in poverty and don't understand that they're living in poverty. They think they're in the middle class. So you have to look at your income, look at your deductibles, the amount of bill that you have to pay per month to figure that out. Look at the schools that you end up going to. Because if I put you in the middle of the upper class neighborhood, the schools that your kids are going to go to, they're going to have A grades or B plus grade. So a lot of people don't understand that the environment that you move in, that's going to be the school, the type of grade that your school is going to have in your environment. But if you're in the hood, those schools don't have A grades or B grades. They're going to have a C or D and maybe even F grade. A lot of people don't even know that schools have grades. So because of that, guess what happens? You don't get the same knowledge and education. Even though someone would try to argue me down and say that's not true, but it is. You don't get the same education. Not only that, think about the security. When you live in the middle of the upper class neighborhood, there's a different level of security. I'm not saying that there's not any crime, but that's not the norm. When you live in the hood, the crime is high. Why? Because of a survival mindset. When you also live in the middle of the upper class neighborhood, it goes down to the streets. Because of the property taxes that you pay, the streets are going to be better. Your streets are going to, if they break down, they're going to hurry up and fix those streets. But when you live in the hood, they're not going to be so quick to fix those streets. And a lot of times, I don't think we fully focus to understand that all these things were created for a reason. See, a lot of times people get huge into black or white. Oh man, the white man, I want to see you win. And that somewhat can be a tad bit true. It can be true a little bit, but a lot of things come to class. It's about class. If you're a person with the correct mindset, guess what happens? You win. No matter what your race is. But if you have the wrong mindset, it's a pretty good chance you'll lose. And that's going to be determined all about the class. Now, these things are instilled in you. So, for the most part, if you grow up in the hood, you're going to have a survival mindset. Now, you can get out of that survival mindset, but it's difficult. And I'm going to be honest with you. I'm a middle class man. I'm not upper class. I'm middle class. But even with me being middle class, I even have a little bit of a survival mindset. And I'm going to tell you why. The mindset is, I never want to go back to live the way I used to live growing up, or even as a young adult. I don't want to go back to that lifestyle. I don't want to go back to that environment. So I have somewhat of a survival mindset, but normally in the hood, that's not the same survival mindset they have. When you're in the hood, the survival mindset leads to poverty, leads to crime, leads to murder, leads to theft, and a whole bunch of other things. And why do you think all these things happen? Because everyone doing whatever it takes to survive. So you got people that'll be willing to rob a gas station for $200-$300 and risk spending 10 years in jail because they think they can get away with $200-$300. Now to me, that sounds like a fool. But when you from the hood and you got that mindset, man, all you know is to find a way to survive. All you know is the crime. I think a lot of murder happened because of frustration also. When you come in an environment where you don't have the same opportunity as everyone else. Let me change that. You don't have the same equal opportunity. You have the same opportunity, but it's not as equal. It can be frustrating. It can be frustrating to a point where you had a mindset because of you growing up in the hood, so you might commit a crime at 15, 16. Now, because of that survival mindset you had then, that stays on your record. So now you're 25 and you've changed, but the world might not see you change. They might see you as the same person that you once were. So when you go back to look at these things, the theft, the murder, the crime, look at poverty, survival mindset, the government created the hood. So if the government created the hood, don't you think they created the mindset? The mindset you have is created. It was instilled in you to be that way. You have the opportunity to change and adjust, but it's very difficult. It's very difficult because normally when you're in that environment, you don't see anyone that's won. You don't see anyone that's successful unless they probably a drug dealer or a rapper or an athlete. That's all you see when you come from the hood. But now if I take you into a middle to upper class neighborhood, you're going to see an entrepreneur business owner. You're going to see a doctor. You're going to see a lawyer. You're going to see a dentist. You're going to see a firefighter. You're going to see a whole bunch of different occupations. An engineer. You're going to see a lot of these different things. So those kids, they're not going to be so quick to just look up to the drug dealer and the rapper. Because the jobs that I just named, those are jobs that most people can get if they study hard and put their focus and work in. But when you come from the hood, the average kid want to be what? A rapper, an athlete, or a drug dealer. But then when you look at the world, who wins? Who the one that really get to the money? I don't hear people talk about the drug dealers get to the money. Hey, the lawyers, the doctors, the dentists, the engineers, the scientists. These are the people that get to the money. But when you're in a different environment, you're not exposed to that. Who in the hood is exposed to living next to a lawyer? Who in the hood is exposed to living next to a doctor? Who in the hood that's exposed to living next to a dentist? You don't see that. You see people working basic jobs. McDonald's, Burger King. Or a basic, if they do get a job, it's the bare minimum. It's the bare minimum. So you see that, and that's the mindset. So now you go into the world and you're being controlled by your mindset. But your mindset was controlled by your environment. And your environment was controlled before you even came into the world through your parents. Because your parents came from normally a poverty mindset. So now you go into the world, you come into the world, and all that stuff being preached to you and you don't even know it. Because your parents don't know it. They don't know that they're teaching you to be in poverty. They don't know. Think about this when you live in the hood. How many parents tell their kids to go read a book? How many? How many tell them, hey, you can be a doctor, you can be a lawyer, you can be a nurse? You don't hear that. You don't hear that in the hood. How many people tell the people in the hood, hey man, you can own your own business, go after it? You don't hear that. Everybody told what? Go get a job. Make sure you can pay these bills. And then think about it. Even when you find a teenager, once they turn 18, when you come from more of the lower class mindset, the survival mindset, as soon as you get 18, you know what your mindset on? Get a job, pay bills. But when you come from the middle of the upper class, it's okay, what career field do you want to get in? Okay, now we need to put you in a position for you to be able to make the money you need to make to take care of yourself. Not just go get a job anywhere. So now what happens if you come from the hood? You're going to have a mindset of, okay, well look, let me get 2 jobs. Now you getting 2 jobs that might pay you total $500. Let's say $400 a week. $500 a week total. But if you was able to go to school, you pretty much making twice that a week on 1 job. But you know why you're able to do that? Because when you come from the middle to upper class mindset, those parents understand that I can't throw my kid out there to the wolves. They understand I have to prepare my kid for this world. But when you come from the hood, it's, oh, my kid 18, get them out of here. You have to train that. You have to train them to be prepared for the world. The mindset is completely different. But all this stuff was taught, and the government established the hood. So when you see the people with the mindset, it got established through the hood. So if it got established through the hood, and the government created the hood, who's controlling you? Government. Then think about this. Who can the government control more than anybody? The poor. Why? Because I know if you don't have the resources, I can do whatever I need to do and pay you extra money to get you to do what I need you to do. Think about that. Think about this. If you're living off government assistance, what can I do? I can control how you live. Think about a woman that has housing. What she's told. Oh, you can't have nobody that's living in this house. Can't have a man living here. It's just you and your kids. You're being controlled. Government's controlling you. Think about that. Every time you get money through the government, they're controlling you. But guess what? It's harder to control the wealthy. Why? Because they don't need the government. But even when you're in the hood, but why do you need the government? Because they want you to need them. That's how they win. Me even talking the way I'm talking, there's a lot of people don't even want me to be saying what I'm saying to you. Because this is the way the world is set up. Because if you learn the game, guess what happens? You can't participate in it no more. And one thing you got to understand, you can't be a boss without workers. Let that sink in. But if you have little to no wealth, guess what happens? Now you need me. I'm talking about the government. You need me now. You need my aid. And because you need my aid, I can get you to do what I need you to do. Let that sink in. So at the end of the day, you have to put yourself in a position to find a way to win. You have to put yourself in a position to not have a survival mindset. You have to start reading books. You have to start getting around the right group of people. You have to get around people that's trying to go somewhere with their life. You have to be around people that has dreams. You have to be around people that have goals. You have to be around people that have a vision. If you're not around those type of people, you're in a world of trouble. Because you're going to pass down that mindset that was taught to you. And it was taught to you through your parents. And their parents was taught to them through their parents. And the government started it. We got to do a better job of start letting everyone control us. Let's start searching for knowledge. I'm going to keep saying this, read a book. Educate yourself. Become the best version of yourself that you possibly can be. My name is Sidney Combs. I'm a young entrepreneur from Shreveport, Louisiana with $1 and a dream. I would like for everyone to like and subscribe to this video. I'm not asking you for a super chat. I'm not asking you for cash out. I'm not asking you for no money. All I'm asking you to do is hit the like button and subscribe to my page. I see people on YouTube begging for money. I'm not asking you for a dime. I just want you to help promote this page so I can get more people to develop and grow. I can help as many young men that I possibly can help so that they can be the best version of themselves that they can be. Who is Child on the Beat? I want you also to go to this brother page, like and subscribe to him. He's not asking for no money unless you want to beat from him. But like and subscribe to his page. Check out his beats. He got some promo beats on there. I love my people.